Both planning and analytic models allow us to import values in multiple currencies if desired. Often, we want to import data in different currencies because transactions from different locations have been recorded in different currencies. Organization type dimensions, such as region in this case, are intended for this purpose and contain a local currency column where we can use 3-letter codes to specify the source currency for each dimension member. In other cases, we may want to import values in different currencies without tying their currencies to any particular location. We can do this by adding a currency column to a generic type dimension. To illustrate, we'll open the dimension preferences for our product group dimension and select the Enable Currency option. We can now specify different import currencies for each of the products in our product group dimension. A more typical case would be to create a generic dimension specifically for currency, with a member for each currency we want to import. We'll delete the currency column from the product group dimension. Before we save the model, we need to open the model's preferences and configure the appropriate currency setup options. For models that contain a single currency, we just need to ensure that the default currency is correct. For models with multiple currency, we need to select the dimension that contains the currency column we want to use. In this case, it's the region dimension. Next, we can enable currency conversion if desired. We need to enable this option if the currency values we're importing need to be aggregated and converted into a single currency. In other words, we don't need to turn on currency conversion if we're importing values in multiple currencies simply to compare them without combining them. When we enable currency conversion, we need to specify the currency conversion table in SAP Analytics Cloud that contains the exchange rates to use. Note that we can't choose a different currency conversion table after data has been imported into the model. However, we can update the values in the table either manually or by scheduling to add new rows as conversion rates change. Refer to the video on creating and managing currency conversion tables for details. We also need to specify the maximum currency conversion limit, which sets the number of currency conversions that can be displayed simultaneously in tables based on the model. In this case, we'll leave the default selection. Finally, we have the option to enable pre-converted actuals if desired. This allows us to import values in multiple currencies and also to import the actuals data already converted into the model's default currency, rather than using the exchange rates in the currency conversion table for this purpose. The currency conversion table is still used for categories other than actuals. Refer to the video on importing pre-converted actuals for details. Now we'll save the changes to the model preferences. When we enable currency conversion, new columns are added to the version and account dimensions, where we need to apply the appropriate settings. Note that analytic models don't contain a version dimension. In the account dimension, a rate type column has been added. Each account is automatically assigned a rate type of average, closing, or blank based on the member's account type. Income and expense account types require the average rate type, and asset and liability account types require the closing rate type. In the currency conversion table, we can maintain separate average and closing conversion rates for the same currencies and time periods as necessary. Similarly, in the version dimension, a rate version column has been added, where we can choose to use a specific rate version from the currency table rather than the standard rate for the selected category. For example, we might create separate rate versions to simulate scenarios where exchange rates change dramatically in the future. In this case, we won't choose a rate version. Now that our model is set up appropriately for currency conversion, we'll save it. Thanks for watching.